Okay, and we are back. So, of course, as is typical, the screw that gave me the most trouble was the only one that really did. But I will say that there's a lot of thread locker been applied to these screws, and consequently, they will be difficult to get out, and you're going to have to push down a bit and be very careful not to strip the head when you get it off. So here we are. We've got these panels clear. I'm just going to take out this first one, lift it up. Oh, that's dusty. That's a dusty, dusty board. Look at that. That's pretty cool, though. Sliders seem quite decent shape. I don't think they need to be taken off and reconditioned like I would on a Juno. I think the dust felts have done their job. And I think also that this particular unit has led a very pampered existence, so I'm fortunate in that respect. In the event that it was not so great, then I might have to actually just take apart that circuit board like I do on the Juno videos, dismantle these cans, and actually repack them, which wouldn't be impossible to do or difficult really, but every time that you take one of these circuit boards apart, you're stressing out the holes, and you're running the risk of getting a lifted pad or whatever. If you can avoid it, then by all means do. And these guys were certainly behaving themselves. Now, this is what we call, this is what I say Paul, this is what Paul refers to as the S-curve. See the way it does an S-curve here? This S-curve is the killer, apparently. Apparently this is the killer. Let's see if it is. Okay. Can I get this out without problems? Well, look at that. This just cracked all the way across. Now, fortunately, the membrane itself didn't come apart inside the plug, but some of you will have, there we go. Some of you will have worse luck than this, and the membrane will literally break apart inside the socket, and if it does that, then you have a very, very dirty little contaminated socket, and that's never good. These guys look actually in really good shape. So, okay, alright, that's good. I was contemplating having to remove them and clean them out and so on and so forth, so fortunately I don't. Okay, so this is going up. That's a lot of LEDs. I have to give this guy a little bit of a dusting before, and a cleaning before everything goes back together again. But now we find ourselves at the next step of the instructions. Right. Yes. What does he say? When you pull them out by hand, the membrane panel tails, if they break off, which is likely, it may be necessary to pull a fragment out of the connector, which you can do with needle nose pliers or with tweezers. And I followed those instructions, and I have both the tweezers and the needle nose pliers. And I'm using bent needle nose. Yeah, I knocked them on the floor and they broke. The bent needle noses because of one of the steps we're going to do next, which is removing the panels themselves. Okay, so we've got all that going on, and the next thing we got to do is, as he said, carefully lay the panels on the top. That's what you do. And then he says disconnect the ground wire. So I've already loosened this with my wrench prior to all this, so I can just disconnect the ground wire. And I noticed that the grounding lug looked cracked and maybe even broken. I'm not 100% comfy about this right now, but get this off. Okay, let's inspect that. Is it broken? Well, it's not good. I mean, it's not broken, but it's not good. I'm just going to put this back on. Alright, we are now at the stage where he says you can move the Polaris and its internals off to the side, and then work exclusively on the detached panel. So we're going to do that next. We'll be right back.